Hello everyone. So today we will be discussing about monolith architecture and microservice architecture. So what's the difference? Which is better? Which is not? We'll cover all those things. Okay. So monolithic architecture is actually, as you see, every application has three components: the front end, the back end, and the database. Okay, so the front end may be in React, Angular, Vue, anything. Okay, so that's the UI part, which has components and it actually consumes the APIs. Okay, so through fetch, Axios, whatever. Then there is the backend. Now the backend actually, in general, what happens is there is this huge all the business processes and services running inside a single server, and everything is taken care within a same container. So this is what monolith does. Okay, so you see the services, the messaging, the payment, the comments. Let's say for Facebook there are comments, there are likes, or if you take the case of Uber, then there is this transaction, then payment, everything. It was earlier in a single server. Okay, so and it's all together. So every time, what's the disadvantage of this is, every time while releasing a new version, let's say something gets updated in the payment, or some logic gets updated in the backend, in the messaging part. Okay, so still an entire version has to be created and then it has to be released or deployed. Okay, so in that case, a lot of it is actually not suggested, but for small purpose or small scale applications, this is still suggestible. Okay, but and some database transactions, all those happens from a single server or a single container. So this is monolithic architecture. Now, although monolithic architecture has some positive things, which is it's less complex to implement. So if you are a small business, you can just go with this, but just in case you have some bigger goals, or let's say you have some huge scalable applications, then you should go with something called microservice architecture. Now, what is microservice architecture? You have this UI part which is still there in microservice, and it actually consumes the APIs. Okay, you have components, maybe it React, maybe it in Angular, whatever, or whatever you use, whatever frameworks you use, and it uses fetch or Axios and all these, and it consumes the APIs. Now now what happens for microservice architecture is, it's the backend is actually broken into several small chunks. Okay, so small processes or small business logics. In that way, what's the benefit is, let's say there is a small change in let's say the comments, or let's say huge a lot of people are what they are doing is they are using a lot of this messaging tool, but there are very few are there who are actually making payments. Okay, so in that case, we can individually scale that small messaging container, rather if all these are deployed as separate containers, and all these are maintained separately. So this is what is microservice architecture, where the bigger application which was in monolith, these are actually broken down into smaller services, and then it's deployed in separate servers or in separate containers. So there are some advantages, but there are some disadvantages. It's really complicated to implement this, and a lot of care has to be taken. Let's say the messaging part goes down, so a lot of things, when things are separate, a huge team has to be involved to take care of this. But this has a lot of advantage also. Let's say you have to deploy a new version for the payment. Okay, so for that you don't have to again build and deploy the entire application, entire version of code. You can just go ahead and deploy only the payment part. So this is what is monolith and microservice architecture. So hope you enjoy this video. Earlier, just one quick tip, earlier Uber used to use monolithic architecture, but then it moved to microservices architecture. So hope that's informative, and thank you for watching.